Like it was weird seeing like the evil us's
Mm-hmm.
like kill Bill and Ted, and then they were in hell basically. And I just my favorite part was when they dressed up to go to heaven, and Death was in the like little smock with this little like hat that when he still had his like
That's what you're
sickle.
talking about. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying right
Yeah,
now.
just like because he's like so obviously the Grim Reaper, but like he's in this little pink dress, and they're like singing
They
that because
made
what did
me
they sing?
dress like this. It's
I can't remember what the song was that they sang when they were like getting into heaven, when they were trying to like be thoughtful and quoting things, and then the guy's like, okay, and then like lets him go in. So it was great. um Third one, no spoilers.
no spoilers.
Really enjoyed it. I think I liked it better than the second one. um the effects were much better, obviously.
What?
And I thought that it was good that because they named there's a character named Kelly in it, who
Mm-hmm.
is like the daughter of Rufus, because of course George Carlin passed, of
Is
course,
that
many moons.
Kristen Skull?
Yeah,
Okay.
but the kind of cool thing about it is that Kelly is actually George Carlin's daughter's name in real life, which I thought was kind of a cool little
Nice.
like
I was wondering
homage to
how
him.
they were going to do that before they announced there is no Rufus in this, because I thought it's time travel. You cast
You have to have,
someone
yeah.
who's sarcastic, like George
Hmm.
Carlin, and just you
Yeah,
have a younger version. But I'm happy that they went,
yeah.
as you've said, this route. So
Hmm. And at the end of the second one, of course, like when they, are at the Battle of the Bands, and then they like time travel a couple of years to get like better or whatever, and then they have their babies. They have little Bill and little Ted. Like the way that they explain that for the girls, because they have daughters in the third one, it was really clever as well. So
okay, I didn't
yeah,
realize that's a good point. I look forward to seeing that.
yeah,
FYI, we are
yeah.
officially
And it was,
streaming now because I hit the wrong button earlier. We were just recording. Now we're streaming.
oh my, in the middle of my rant about Bill and Ted.
That's why you're doing the audio on your end.
I mean, and the thing is, it's like I have one last thing to say about that. Be excellent to each other. Yes. Okay, so speaking of random things that are not having to do with anything about anything, there you go.
Okay.
Mass Singer started finally. We kind of ramped up on it. Me, ramped up on it last week because they had a sneak peek about it.
Ooh.
And so the way that they're structuring this season, there's 16 masked groups, because there's actually a duet that they're having. There's actually two people in masks as one character, which is kind of cool. But they have a group of 5 for Group A, Group B's group 6, and then Group right over there.
I'm
Group
the masked
C.
podcaster.
That's fine. There you go. Oh, are
It
you
doesn't smell
Deadpool?
good in this shirt.
That's disgusting.
It
Anyways,
is.
so they started with Group A,
It smells like
and it
tacos.
was, I'll name them out. It was the sun, the giraffe, the dragon, popcorn, and snow owls. Because it's very clearly snow owls are like in this egg, and it's a guy and a girl.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my thoughts on who they are already. But the dragon had this very like deep, scratchy, rappy voice, and he sang "Mama Said Knock You Out," LL Cool J, and he was the first one to be unmasked. And would you like me to spoil it out and tell you who it was?
LL Cool J.
That would be really a little bit meta. No, because when I was thinking about Dragon, I thought like initially from some of the clues it was Cisco, because he had his huge album was Enter the Dragon
Mm.
back in like the late 90s. But it ended up being Busta Rhymes. So Busta was the dragon, and I thought he did a pretty good job. I thought for sure Giraffe was gonna go home, but yeah, so Dragon was the one who went home, and so the other ones are safe for now. They'll do Group B this coming week because they kind of go through the groups and introduce them, which I think is better than they did last season because they went through all the groups and then they introduced the next one. But so Group B is the Serpent. He looks kind of like a king cobra, like a big hooded cobra with like arms that move.
Okay.
Baby alien, whatchamacallit, seahorse, crocodile, and gremlin. So group 6 this time should be fun. But anyways, So that's where we're at now with Masked Singer, one weekend. And of course, just because of all the controversy that's been surrounding it with, this and that and everything else, their viewership for the premiere was down almost 50% from their last September premiere, which I think was season 2. So I'm like, yikes. I mean, still, still
So
like
there's
topped all the.
controversy on the Masked Singer.
Look up Nick Cannon comments,
Oh,
and then
okay.
that's it. That's all you need
Okay.
to look up.
All right.
Yes, there's massive amounts of it. So let's onto something that's a little less controversial. How about this? I watched Enola Holmes,
Okay.
and that's on Netflix. Well, there's controversy around that too. Ay, such a controversial show. So that just premiered on Netflix. That was September 23rd. And I just decided, I was like, okay, well, I'll just, watch it and try to catch the first few minutes. I ended up getting sucked in and watched the whole 2 hours and 3 minutes of it. So it stars Millie Bobby Brown, and that's Enola Holmes. She's the little sister of Sherlock and Mycroft. And she's based out of the books that Nancy Springer or Singer, anyways, did on that sort of like part of the narrative.
Okay.
And so the whole premise of the show is that she's like lived with her mom, for her whole life. Like her dad passed, and then the boys went off and did their detective type things and whatever, and and just like weren't a part of the story. And then on the morning of her 16th birthday, the mom's gone. But basically, it's like Nola has to figure out these clues and figure out like how to get to her mom, or like, is her mom dead, like what happened, and sort of find. And then she meets a couple of different characters along the way, and some people are sort of expecting her to be there, and she just kind of finds her way, and her like forges her own path to find things. And it's very like empowering and fun. It's like a crime mystery. It sort of reminded me honestly of did you see the remake of the Orient Express, Murder on the Orient Express?
I have not.
With
But
Johnny Depp
Johnny
and all
Depp,
those.
Josh Gad, and all them.
Yes, it very much reminded me of that kind of tone of movie. It was a lot of fun, but still like mysterious. You had to sort of figure out things. But it was very good. I liked it. I really like Millie Bobby Brown. I think she's a really good actress, and
It
really
throws me off
enjoyed
when
her.
she talks because for some reason I thought she was from Spain originally.
Oh, okay.
When the Stranger Things first came out, and
Mm-hmm.
then I was like, oh no, she's English. And so I saw,
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear what her accent sounded like because she doesn't
Yeah.
really talk much in Stranger Things.
Right.
And she talks with an American accent, but it's
Right.
like, oh, she has a very lovely. I mean, it's English. That's all very lovely.
Yeah. And it's like, like I told, sort of like steampunky, kind of like that, early
Victorian era.
yeah, like it was neat. It was neat. The visuals were really cool, and there's a couple of like sort of like pseudo bad guys like in the mix of things, and they're all pretty creepy and stuff. And so yeah, it was pretty good.
So,
Very much enjoyed it.
Henry Cavill is playing Sherlock.
Yeah.
Does he? And from one of my wife's friends said that it's a great show, and he is a very pretty Sherlock. But is he?
Yeah.
The show revolves around Enola. How much is Sherlock in it? Is he very much a supporting character? Or?
He is probably, besides there's one character named Lord Tewksbury. He's probably like the main side character, but then Sherlock very much like intersperses himself in the movie, so he's in it quite a bit. Like,
Okay,
not
nice.
like with her or anything like that. Actually, as a matter of fact, he's actually searching for her during a good portion of the movie. So
Okay, nice.
yeah. So but
Fabulous.
the thing that I liked best is that it opened up for like sequels or other stories, which I loved. I was like, the way that they tied it up was great, but I was very much ready for something new. Like, I was just excited about it. So,
I mean, and they have the star power. Both the Henry Cavill and Millie Bobby Brown are on Netflix TV shows anyway, because we've got Stranger Things, we've got The Witcher. Both have new seasons coming out. So there's a good chance that this could have been like, here's the introduction movie. Now let's do a series. But who knows? They could just do another movie.
That would be amazing if they did. And Helena Bonham Carter's in it too, and she plays.
Yay.
Yeah, she's like basically Mrs. Holmes, Eudora Holmes, and I just really
She's
enjoy
fantastic.
her.
I love
She's
her.
so good in those kind of roles. So
She's one of those like absolutely love her, and then you see her in the Harry Potter movies, like, oh, I hate you.
I hate you
but you're
so much.
So good at being evil.
How dare you murder that sweet little house elf? I mean, what? Sorry, my bad. For a movie that came out 12 years ago, or
yeah,
how many years ago?
I think that series is getting enough flack as it is because of the authors. So I mean,
what is with all this controversy? Golly, I'm sorry. I know I just keep bringing it up.
Episode
Let's talk about something else that's not. You know what doesn't? Full of
controversy.
Yes. So are we gonna talk about my album? I'm like, hopefully nothing controversial about it.
Is there anything controversial about album number 9 of 20?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure this is pretty like run of the mill, standard. Not gonna be like, oh, how dare you pick that? No. So you picked number 9 for my album of influence. As always, it's a pleasure to be. I mean, it's an honor to be nominated. So, number 9 is The Very Best of Chicago, Only the Beginning. Even though they've been around for, they'd already been around for, like, let's see. They've been around since basically 1970. So, let's see. That's 50 years. Yeah. And the ironic thing is they haven't had another, like, greatest hit since then, but that's okay. So, it was released 18 years ago. I just hit myself there. Sorry. July of 2002. And it's just basically a greatest hits, but it has a little bit more of like deep tracks and some of those tracks to pull in from kind of different times of when they were working together. Like there's a lot of like, of course, Peter Cetera, he was the main like lead singer for a number of years, and then he left, and then they kind of switched around for a while, but he's mainly the one. But they have a lot of the, early 70s. There's like 25 or 6 to 4, Saturday in the Park, Just You and Me, Feeling Stronger Every Day, like a lot of those. And then on the other disc, there's a lot of like the 80s stuff, which is where I was kind of introduced to them, like the poppy, soft contemporary rock, which is, again, I'm thinking back to it, and it's like heard them on the cassette tape, like in my parents' car kind of thing, driving around. Are you drinking tea?
No.
Oh, okay. It's just in a teacup.
Not everything's a teacup.
It's, it's really good because, like, I love that you have that right over the Deadpool face. It just really works. Yeah.
Sunshine and tacos.
I have a cup that I won't ever use on this show, but it's a Harry Potter reference. Again, back to the controversy. My gosh. And it says, "Not today, Muggle," and then the next, and then there's an F word after it. It's kind of along the same lines as that.
I'm trying to think of what an F word in the world of Harry Potter could be.
It's not in the world of Harry Potter.
Yeah, I
know what the word is.
I'm trying to think of a good Harry Potter F word.
Yeah.
Muggle. Fossenpfeff. I don't know.
I was like, type in Harry Potter F words. That'd be a really weird search.
Harry Potter insults.
And so one of the things that means a lot to me about Chicago is that they're another one of those bands I've seen a lot live. And I remember when I was engaged to the Headless Engineer, when we were affianced, we went with my future mother-in-law and future father-in-law to go see them. And I want to say Earth, Wind, and Fire. What kind of a cool little like grouping of them. And we were trying to figure out the song that we were going to dance to at our wedding. You don't, of course you don't remember. I mean, you were there, but you don't remember.
I was there, but I've slept since then.
It's fine. It's been 12 years, as I would assume. I would hope you've slept
lovely
since
wedding.
Then. Thank you. Yeah, understated. It didn't have to be super over the top fancy. It was just good.
Straightforward.
Whatever.
Marriage.
But, Princess Bride. That's like his favorite. That's one of his favorite movies too. Good job. And so we're at the concert, right? And You're the Inspiration started playing, and that was sort of one of the ones we were kind of thinking about and like hearing it live, and we're like, okay. So we picked You're the Inspiration for our wedding song.
You're the inspiration for my life.
Yeah, that's right. And that also, speaking of that, you need to watch Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai,
because that song's actually in that show on one of the episodes, and I was like, oh. You need to watch it though.
I
Anyways.
almost started it yesterday. But then I came to the conclusion I'm going to wait because I kind of want to watch it with Kristen. We did finish Parks and Rec. Forgot to mention that.
Oh, yeah.
But, which was
I'm
sad.
ready.
Yeah.
So sweet. I love Leslie though.
But I almost started watching Cobra Kai. I was like, no, I'm going to go watch something else. So I finished up the Harley Quinn TV show because it moved over to HBO Max as we discussed a few episodes ago.
The cartoon we talked about? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that's when I started with the... not The Boys, but that's when I started Lovecraft Country. But I think if I don't watch it before then,
The missus will love it. Yeah, you need to make sure
and
you
we're going to watch
her.
it with her. So we'll either catch it when we got all of our other shows taken out, or we have a holiday break coming up in December. So we may marathon it then. Because that's kind of like the first few days of that. That's when I'm like, I'm just going to watch movies. And like a few years ago, I watched The Hateful Eight and then went into Star Wars, which is really trippy because it's Samuel L. Jackson in Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Then jumping over to Star Wars Episode 1, where you have Samuel L. Jackson.
You have Mace Windu, yeah.
Very different roles.
Yes, that's not quite the same.
Same attitude, but different language.
Just in a galaxy far, far away.
If the Samuel L. Jackson's from Hateful Eight would have been in Star Wars, better movie, and we wouldn't have the dark side to worry with.
Episode 1 was fine for like the introducing of characters, but it was an absolute turd sandwich. Like
it needs.
I
would love to get a hold of. I don't think it's out in the world, but Topher Grace. From that '70s show.
Yeah, I loved him. Yes. Mm-hmm.
There's another movie with ScarJo.
Win a Date with Tad Hamilton.
I didn't watch that.
Because I know you totally were into that one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Anyways,
but
we know who he is.
A few years ago, he took the first episodes 1 through 3 and re-edited them to focus like on the downfall of Anakin Skywalker or something like that. I would love to see that, to see just what exactly he did, see what he removed. I think he made it, but like he showed it to his friends. But this is right before
Star Wars
YouTube. Yeah, there are
all 3 prequels.
Yeah, there are other versions of it out there that Joe Blow said, "Hey, I'm going to do the same thing," and they did that. Their kind of own version of that.
Okay, well, I think I may have it actually.
Oh, nice.
Maybe. We'll have to look at it. Anyways. So
that's Chicago.
I'm like, where were we? I don't even.
I was like, I don't know what we got there.
Oh yeah, no, we were talking about Chicago. That's what we were doing. And so yeah, not really anything that's controversial. Though there is a fun anecdote because there's always something fun to talk about Rizzo about. Mm-hmm. We went to their concert 2 years ago, maybe, and crack. And so they were getting into some of the stuff after that because you know how they're super like brass heavy. Like I mean, they have like the trombones and trumpets and saxophones, and there was just like a huge like 10-piece band basically, plus the singers and everything. And I was sitting there, and because of course she knows that our wedding songs, You're the Inspiration, and so then the first few chords of Hard Habit to Break start happening, and she's like keeps slapping me, like hitting me, and I'm like, what? She's like, it's your song, and I'm like, that's Hard Habit to Break. She's like, oh, okay. But anyway, so she was hitting me very hard.
The only reference I had to Chicago is from high school band, and that's because we played 25 or 6-4.
I love that song so much. It's good.
So that's the only.
Wait, you were in band?
Yeah.
What'd you play?
Drums.
Oh, okay, that doesn't surprise me.
Because when I was in 6th grade, kind of from what I saw was kind of the introduction to band for a lot of schools.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I was at a different school in 6th grade, and I took the art route. Mm-hmm. Then we moved, and I was put into band. So for the next 2 years, I faked playing the trumpet because I'm bad with instruments. I've attempted many of them. They finally put me in percussion, and then I was like, okay, yeah, just hit the drum when the drum major does this.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like 2 or 3 weeks later I realized that was the third beat of 4. And then I realized what the beat was, and then I got slightly better.
Okay.
I still suck at instruments, though.
I was never a band kid ever, so I wouldn't know. But
I was a
engineer,
kid in band. I wouldn't say I was a band kid. I liked
yeah,
it. I enjoyed it. We had some great times. The music was awesome. We did some really cool stuff. But
yeah,
I went into college band, and I'm like, I am out of my league here. These people know how to play.
yeah.
I know how to slightly fake it.
He was Daisy's gonna come join us in a second.
It's okay.
He played trumpet all through middle school, all through high school, and did drum corps
Nice.
for a couple of years. Yeah, so he's pretty musical. I have hope for a short round yet because I was like, it's not gonna happen like because of me. Maybe drum. She likes that idea, but come on. So, anyways, all right.
Yeah.
Tell me about Spider-Man and how he's superior.
Superior Spider-Man. I didn't
Superior
leave the
Daisy.
link up, so I'm gonna have the dates off, so I'll just explain it. I don't have the actual copy of it this time because I read this digitally a few years back. But
Bad boy. That's okay.
I want to say this is 2014, 2015ish or so. But
Yeah.
the Superior
It says publication date 2013, 2014.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So basically, the Superior Spider-Man is before the first issue of Superior Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Doc Ock are having a major big fight, and basically what happens? Yeah,
yeah,
nothing new.
Yes.
So what happens is that Peter Parker wins, sort of, but Dr. Octavius basically downloaded his mind into Peter Parker's body. But the essence of Peter Parker, the good side of it, was still kind of stayed in there. So like as Peter Parker's being wiped out from his own body, he leaves the essence of you still have this obligation. With great power becomes great responsibility.
Yeah.
So Doc Ock is Peter Parker. He is posing as Peter Parker around town, and he becomes Spider-Man. But he's like, I'm going to be the best Spider-Man because I'm intelligent. I'm Dr. Octavius. I am the superior Spider-Man. But he starts kind of like, protecting the innocent, but he does it in a very villain-like way. Like he does spider bots that do the job for him. He does like a lot of Big Brother type stuff and everything. So it's a really cool series because it's kind of an evil Spider-Man, but he's still doing good. But he has a love interest and everything that he ends up falling in love with someone at work, but they see Peter Parker, but really in the inside, it's Doc Ock.
That's weird. That's cool. I mean, that's awesome.
And then like you have little bits of like the essence of Peter Parker still inside Doc and still inside his body, trying to get his body back. And so it's a really fun series. I believe they've continued the series because, since we've had the Spider-Verse, and like there's multiple Spider-Mans, there still is a superior Spider-Man out there, and it's, Octavius in the body of Peter Parker.
Ooh, I wonder if he's going to be a part of the new one.
That'd be fun.
That would be
That'd
pretty
be
cool.
kind of a cool thing in there. So really, really fun read. It's just kind of... especially when he starts interacting with villains that he knew was Doc Ock, and he's actually getting them arrested and stuff like that, and he's very manipulative.
That's sort of how he rolls.
I think at one point he invades someone's base with a whole army of spider bots and stuff. So
it says here on the wiki page, in 2018, a new volume of the Superior Spider-Man debuted as a part of the Spider-Geddon storyline.
Okay, yeah.
So 12 new issues. That sounds like fun.
I believe Spider-Geddon was when someone was going through trying to kill all the Spider-Men throughout multiple universes. I could be wrong on that one, but
I really like the Spider-Verse. That makes me want to go watch the cartoon again.
That is such a good movie.
Such a good movie.
I watched that.
Insanely good.
I watched that with my brother. He had the house to himself. I was very stressed because I was about to proctor an SAT the next day, so I didn't want to Lori Loughlin the whole thing. So...
That's like a descriptive term now. Yeah. That's just like 2020 is going to be an adjective for whatever from like.
And so like watching that at my brother's house and like, just the intro to the movie itself is awesome because the music is great. The way they shot it was great. The acting. And so my favorite
microphone. Go ahead.
It's like one of my favorite scenes is like after Miles just met, I think it was Gwen or it may have been the older Peter Parker. But when he's by the rock and he kind of hits it and it just breaks in half, he's like, "That's new." I was like, "That's so awesome." It's just you kind of captured that. Yeah, this is a kid who's just things are going on. It's like, oh, all right, cool. So anyway,
Spider-Man. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
all
cool.
right. So that's the Superior Spider-Man and some more Spider-Man stuff.
And speaking of superhero type things that I'm excited about, I want to hear your take on WandaVision.
That trailer looks awesome.
I'm excited. Like and I told you this before, like just being completely honest with you. Like I wasn't super pumped about, I mean, like, yeah, Marvel's great. Like, you know, they always look fun, but I wasn't like, I have to go see this right now kind of thing. WandaVision, I want to watch like immediately.
It looks trippy fun. Her powers deal with, in the comic book, the movies kind of changed it up a little bit, but in the comic, her powers deal with manipulating reality. And so I'm like, that sounds just like WandaVision because, you know, Vision isn't really in the, there's something happens to Vision. So seeing him in a show again, you're like, wait a minute.
But something happens to him. What?
Yeah, but it looks really trippy. It looks like they're going to have fun with like, okay, I wonder how they're going to do it. Like, are we going to do like an 80s sitcom for this episode, then change it up to this style of sitcom, or...
Right.
It sounds like it just...
That kind of looks like it.
Yeah, a playroom for the director to have. Like, okay, let's do this now. But
my microphone looks like Yoda right now, speaking of which. Oops, she just hit her head. She had her like ears on either side.
Gonna headbutt your mic.
Daisy is joining. She's like, ooh, I love controversy.
And
Mom,
Daisy
here,
with controversy. But yeah,
right.
WandaVision looks great. Love those I think they're both great actors. The trailer looks really trippy. If you haven't seen the trailer, check out the trailer.
Yeah. And by the way, Daisy turned 19 on the 23rd.
Wow. Nice.
Happy birthday, Daisy.
We've been dealing with a overly talkative cat who's not normally talkative, so he's going to go to the vet to make sure there's nothing wrong. Because
Asher Basher.
I'm having to put in restraint upon... I emptied it. We had the water bottle. I emptied it out because we found a link. It may be age-related, and he's just talking. So I'm like...
Yeah.
I don't want to be squirting a cat just because he's a schmuck. But at the same time, I'm like... I mean,
figure out what the actual issue is instead of just dealing with the symptoms. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. I mean, that noise you heard earlier, that clanking, that was me throwing a pin at the door to get him away from the door because I hear him meowing. So...
Well, see, I like how that works with your cats because the last time I did that when Kit Kat was up trying to do her thing while I was on the show, she ended up like choking on the pen. So I'm like,
well, the door's closed and I texted the wife and I just literally said, remove the cat.
It's like code for something. You're like, oh, no, it's just, you know, speaking specifically about this thing. Yeah. But and I know. And speaking of Marvel and things, I'm sorry that your date with ScarJo is being pushed back again.
It's supposed to be around my 39th birthday of May 25th of 2020, but no. Now it's going to be, what is it? May 7th, 2021.
So you get it for 40. It's fine. You'll get it for your 40th.
Get it for 40.
We'll go get our tats. You'll go watch ScarJo, and then I was going to say because I could buy you the Barbie though. There's a new Black Widow Barbie that just came out, and it's like a limited edition. I'll buy you the Barbie, and then you can like have a Ryan doll and a ScarJo doll, and be like.
I'm not against having superhero action figures. I'm
Barbie.
against having a Barbie.
It's literally a Barbie. It's not an action figure.
If there's anything bought for me that is Black Widow, please make it like McFarlane Toys or something.
So I can't get you a Barbie?
No.
Okay.
I will.
I'll get it for Short Round.
Yeah, Short Round can have it.
Okay.
It's like the time my mom bought my nephew Barbie so that a Ken doll so that he could play with his sisters, and I'm like, here's Wolverine. Wolverine can kick this guy's ass. Yeah.
All right. Hey man, Ken has abs of plastic and hair that doesn't move. It's fine.
Ken,
I was
the
Kansas City bestie, her daughter that's what do we call her? Small Fry? Yeah. Short Round's buddy. Small Fry. Her thing right now is this does have to do with Barbies. Her thing is mermaids. And she has like all the little Barbie mermaids ones where it's like not, some of them have like the legs, but they have like the tail also. So there's actually a Barbie merman, which makes me think of Zoolander.
Merman.
Merman.
I'm a merman.
Got the black lung pop. But there's actually a Barbie merman, so I'm excited to maybe get that for her because it's fun. I was like, it's a Zoolander reference, and it's like a Barbie that's a mermaid guy, so
It's
pretty cool.
If it looks like Zoolander, that would be better.
That would be. I would buy the crap out of that if there was a Zoolander merman.
Zoolander
100%. Or like turn the Ken into Zoolander merman with like the big makeup and like on the cheeks with the Anyways, merman. There you go. Yeah. And then and so you heard about the Emmys, how they were super shitty this year?
Mm-hmm. The shitties.
They were
shimmies.
The shimmies, yeah. So super quick recap on the Emmys. Schitts Creek won everything. Pretty much. The end. Succession was won as well. Watchmen won. But Schitts Creek actually unprecedented, first time ever, swept the entire comedy category.
Okay.
That was lead actor, lead actress, supporting actor, supporting actress, directing, writing, and comedy series.
Who's the lead actor? Is it Eugene Levy or is it David Levy? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, and then Daniel Levy, and then oh my gosh, I had her name and then I just lost it. I'm sorry. I'm so embarrassed. I was like, that's her face. I know. Ew. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I just did that.
I'm looking her up too.
I'm sorry. Are you looking up too?
We can have an IMDb off.
I cannot believe. Oh no, Annie Murphy. There you go. Jeez, I was like, I cannot believe I did that. Sorry, Annie Murphy. You rock. You're hilarious, and you're a great Alexis, and totally deserving. So, anyway, but yeah, so they ruled all at the Emmys.
If you ever get bored, Conan O'Brien, I don't know if you've heard of him. He has a podcast called Conan Needs a Friend, and a while back he had Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, on the podcast same time because they acted together in Canada. They kind of came down with some other Canadian comedians, whatnot. They've done
like all the Michael McKean movies too,
stuff
together,
like
that.
But it was just great hearing them kind of talk to each other and like how, because they asked about Catherine O'Hara's accent for the show. She's like, I don't know, but I'm gonna misquote it, but there'd be times when, to help her stay in that accent, Eugene Levy will go like, now Catherine, what movie was Leonardo DiCaprio? And she'd be like, The Avatar. So just again, Conan Needs a Friend, one, fun podcast, two, listening to them on there is just great because it's crazy because Eugene Levy has been acting a long time. I mean, I grew up watching Splash, Tom Hanks, John Kennedy, Daryl Hannah, and Eugene Levy is the quote unquote bad guy for a little bit in that. I'm like, oh yeah, he's in that.
Right. When I was watching just a brief little thing of their kind of like wrapping up of the Emmys, and part of his acceptance speech, it was funny because he said that, for his most kind of like straight like laced role ever in a comedy series is when he wins his comedy Emmy, and so he's seriously questioning what he's been doing for the past 50 years. He's like just like the run-of-the-mill basic comedy guy is what wins, as opposed to like the over-the-top kind of thing. So
very pseudo straightforward character.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But I'm enjoying it. I'm almost to season 2. Like Alexis and Ted are together, and Stevie and David just friends with benefited it a lot.
I love Stevie. I think she might be like, I love all the characters, but I think Stevie's maybe one of my favorite characters in the show. Just because, just the dry humor, the sarcastic comebacks, and having to deal with, one, that town, but two, that family.
Aw. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm hoping to get a little bit farther through, but the headless engineer and I are actually watching it together, and it's hard to find the time just to be together and watch the show. So we're working on it though.
It's good, fun, mindless giggles, and
for
sure. Is the whole thing on Netflix now?
The season 5 or season 6. I don't remember what's the last one.
I'm not sure.
They announced that it's going to be out on Netflix, but it premieres on Headless Engineer's birthday.
Okay.
First week in October. So
Fabulous.
Yes. What's up? What's next?
I think let's hit
it's Nandy, isn't it?
Hit the Nandy Dave thing, then we'll do our Halloween jazz.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm not sure if you all have heard about this, but Nandy Bushnell, she's this like drumming prodigy type little girl, and her and Dave Grohl have this internet duel kind of going on right now, where they're kind of going across to each other and giving each other these like tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a lot of fun to watch. And the last thing that happened when like she was covering some songs, Dave was doing these songs, and then Dave wrote a original song as like an ode to Nandy as this like drumming superhero girl. And so of course she like lost her mind and she loved it. And so she now, my understanding is that she's going to come up with an original song for Dave Grohl that has not been released to my knowledge. But if you want to spend some wholesome 15 minutes of your life watching these like Twitter back and forth between them, it's adorable and it's precious. And it's super fun to get your mind out of like the reality of the world, because there's lots of poop out there. And this is just, it's cute, it's sweet. Dave Grohl seems like super cool. Oh, he's also in the third Bill and Ted's, by the way.
Okay.
Just for like 2 minutes. But okay. I know you're like, now you want to watch. Okay, there you go.
Curious. Yeah, I mean,
it's very funny.
The price has gone down a little bit, but I'm still being cheap. So.
That's okay. Yeah, we actually bought the 3 of them just because we wanted to have them. I knew once I watched them, I didn't want to watch them again. But they did this. It was like a streaming, and it was all 3, and it was like $41 or something. It's like doing the math. Okay, so it's like, it was, I mean, not too bad. Like $14, $13 a piece. Not too bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. So yeah, and that included the 3rd one, so it's pretty good.
That is cool.
But anyways, yeah. So Dave wrote his theme song for Nandy, and I'm just looking at this little like GIF right now on this one page I grabbed, and she has the same like buffalo plaid, like the red and black plaid shirt button up like Dave Grohl does, and they're making the same like screaming drummer face. It's pretty cute.
It's awesome.
So yeah, highly recommend. Super, super cute. So should we prep for Halloween? We both like, is that your favorite holiday, would you say?
I'm more of a Christmas season or holiday, whatever you call it. That okay. Just because I grew up very religious. Okay. And like Santa was kind of bad, but as I got older, I'm like, that's
not the real meaning. Yeah.
I'm like, that just seems kind of dumb to think of him as bad, because when I walk around, you walk through a mall, you see a line of kids with smiles on their face to see miscellaneous individual dressed up just to make their day. I'm like, that's not bad. That's a joy to the season. Plus the cool. But again, with the whole religious thing, Halloween was very bad. But I grew up and like, no. So so I enjoy it. I will possibly decorate with the front of the house I don't know if I'll probably decorate, because we've been in this house for 12 years, and like,
careful on the roof, dude.
Yeah. First few Halloweens, no one stopped by, so I was like, hey, let's decorate so they know that we actually give out candy. And then like, still no one. This year, nothing. I do have an idea for this year though.
Tell me.
I think the trick-or-treaters should stay in their car, and everyone in their house should dress up and run towards the car like maniacs and give candy, then run back.
I mean, if you want to come up to Albuquerque again, you can bring water balloons as well.
Water balloons
because Short Round has decided what she's going to be for this year, and I think you'll be very proud. And I was sort of out of right field, but those are the kind of ones that I really enjoy. Like, I love when she's like, "Oh, this," and I'm like, "That's a great idea, excellent, let's do it." So she wants to be. You ready for this? She wants to be 11.
Nice, that's a good one.
Yeah. So I actually found the dress. I found the season 1 pink with the like white, with the like sister's dress thing. So I need to find like a little blue coat and the tube socks and whatever. And we're just gonna like slick our hair back and put it in a ponytail so it looks like it's shaved. So
do a little bit of blood.
Oh yeah, yeah. The wall. I mean, like the Eggos is fine, and we're gonna get the blood. Like it's gonna be, yeah, it'll be really good. But she knows she's not gonna be trick or treating. But I figure between the headless engineer and I, we'll come up with like something to be like, oh, here's whatever, or like little riddles or something, like to get candy, or I don't know, something.
Nice.
But we'll do something fun. So, anyways,
a Halloween candy
excited.
Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, exactly.
An alien egg Easter hunt.
Dressed up like 11, like with little clues and stuff. Like she'd really be into that, I think. I'm gonna have to write this down. These good ideas. So I'm interested because we'll go through some Halloween movies, and I'm sure we'll talk about them a little bit more in depth. But I came up with 7 or 8, like just a couple of ideas of what we'll sort of base our watching off of. Because I was we were in the car, we were on our way over to go do the Bill and Ted's marathon. I actually asked the question to Headless Engineer and to Short Round, like what, thinking about from my perspective, like some family friendly ones, like where it's spooky enough, but it's sort of brings in a little bit of that fear factor, but not like terrifying for a child of her age. So I was curious to see if you had any ideas of that as well.
I'm looking at the list I gave you. I'm like,
yeah, not so much. There's nothing on there.
There's one that might work.
What's that?
Sleepy Hollow. Johnny Depp.
That'd be good.
Christy Ricci.
I didn't even know that was Christina. I didn't know that was on your list. I didn't see that.
It's kind of hidden in there. That's the only one that on that particular thing that I wrote, because a lot of mine are straight up horror films.
Well, so are mine. I thought, the one that I thought would be good is Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters,
like,
1, 2,
not like
the
exactly
remake. Yeah.
Halloween-y, but like kind of,
Right.
So anyways, okay, so tell me, go through some of your list, and we'll in the next couple of weeks we'll focus on like talking about maybe our favorites or something.
And this is going to be different for everyone because based on what services you have, what movies you have, and everything.
That's true. So, just a good compilation of what is recommended, though. I think.
But here's kind of like what I like to do in the past, and I don't have any TV shows listed. But if you have access to streaming services, one fun thing to do is find shows like Home Improvement. Always had a Halloween episode.
I love that idea. Like
Roseanne,
you mentioned that last week. I think I want to do that.
A lot of those 90s TV shows, I mean, you can kind of look them up on IMDb, and if it happened a week or two before Halloween, if they had a show a week or two before Halloween, there was a good chance it was a Halloween episode.
Yeah, like on AB, like on TGIF or whatever, like at ABC. Mm-hmm.
And with current shows like Community, Parks and Rec, The Office, it's kind of fun to do this for any holiday, really. I mean, there's Valentine's Day, Christmas, whatever. But that's one fun way because if you want to try to watch something 31 days of October, trying to catch 31 movies when you have family work, that is very difficult. But that's where the TV shows come in fun, because they're 30 minutes. Watch 1 or 2 of them if you have the time. So
get you in the spirit, kind of, and actually I was just typing this in, so I just typed in Halloween episodes TV, and there's actually an entire wiki page that's dedicated to episodes of TV shows. Like I can see Smallville, there's one, and the one that I was thinking of when I started typing in that made me laugh was Big Bang Theory. The one where they had the Halloween episode where they went as the Justice League. Do you remember that? Yeah, which I was like, that's like, I didn't even think about that.
Stuff
that would be
like that.
Great.
It's crazy. And like even shows where like Supernatural, which it's all paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
They too will have an occasional, this is an actual straight up Halloween episode. So even those, but those you can just cheat on by like, well, this whole thing's spooky crazy, so we could just watch one of those a day if you wanted. But as far as movies go, these are just some I thought of the top of my head. That's Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and Evil Dead the remake. Because Evil Dead, the first one, the second one, and Army of Darkness, those are all very campy horror, especially the first two.
Yeah.
It was a college project, you can tell, but it's campy, but it's kind of scary in its own way. Army of Darkness, they got a budget and they said, let's go full camp, which was great. The remake in 2013.
I think Army of Darkness was my favorite.
Yeah. They had a budget.
Think of the three.
So.
Well, and I also didn't like, and this is me again, I didn't particularly care for the, let's see, how do I say this right? The tree assault
the tree rape scene.
Oh, thank you. I was like, I don't want to say that word.
The rape scene. I think that was
there was one. 2?
Well, the fun thing is Evil Dead 2 is
One.
basically Evil Dead. Just
Yeah.
that Evil Dead 2 is when they first got a budget. Evil Dead was the college project. Evil Dead 2 was kind of the same story but slightly different. So yeah, that's a little harsh.
The Evil Dead 2 was like when they were in the house, right? Or was that the first one?
That's the first and second one.
Okay, I need to watch them again.
They are pretty much kind of the same story. Slight differences.
Yeah.
And then the remake, the 2013 Evil Dead, it's gore.
Yeah. Yeah.
The campiest thing is Bruce's appearance after the credits.
Yeah.
But some other flicks, Train to Busan. I'm kind of sick of all the zombie movies because starting when we were in college 14 years ago, the zombie craze hit, and it finally started dying off a few years ago.
Yeah.
But Train to Busan, it is from, I think it's South Korean, but it is a very good.
Messed up.
It's a very good zombie movie.
Okay. All right. Take my notes.
It's because there's a good story behind it. It's subtitled, but it's really good.
That sounds like something the Headless Engineer would be into.
I highly recommend it. And they're making a sequel to it. So, then also sticking on the zombies just for classic reason. Dawn of the Dead, which takes place in the mall. You got Ving Rhames. You got what's his face from Modern Family. The dad, I forget his name.
Ty Burrell or Ed O'Neill?
Ty Burrell.
Which one? Okay.
The silly dad.
Yeah, Ty Burrell.
So they're all kind of silly, but
that's
a good one. Land of the Dead, which is again zombies but campy.
Yeah.
Just The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. It is.
I'm getting ideas now that you're saying all of these things. So
Frighteners, Michael J. Fox can see ghosts, and he's kind of a con artist, and the ghosts help him out, but then chaos ensues, and it's a fun one. Resident Evil, the first movie. All of them are pretty good, but Resident Evil, the first one's a little bit more horror than the others are. The others kind of get more action. Yeah. More recently, A Quiet Place.
I never saw that, but that was pretty good. Okay, because it's like the monsters will kill you if they hear you, right? Basically, okay, got it.
Really good. I mean,
I would die so quick. Sorry.
I would be curious to see your reaction to that film. So, anyway, I won't say anything else.
Well, I mean, like, are they killing dogs and kids? Oh, no.
There's also John Carpenter's The Thing, a classic one. Kurt Russell, it's a good one. It's got some Cronenberg fun in there, so Rizzo really
does it really? Okay.
Well, I mean, the monster is pretty.
Lindsay Buckingham's in that movie?
All over the place. It's the TV series, the 6-hour one with John Boy in it, and then the newer movies, of course. But pick one.
I had that on my list as well. I'll go through mine in a second. I'm like adding more as you're talking, but yeah, the new. Did you saw the new ones? Didn't you? Okay, I haven't seen chapter 2, but I loved the first one. I thought it was awesome. Anyways,
chapter 2 is good. I mean, I liked what they did. I have the TV series version on there just because it's that 80s horror camp. You've got John Boy, you've got Harry from Night Court. I'm not using real names. Seth Green.
His name's not Chicken. Harry from Night Court.
Yeah. Seth Green is in it.
Night Court. Okay.
Because as a kid actor, because he plays one of the kids, I'm like, oh yeah, you've grown up and started your own franchise and everything. So that's just kind of fun to watch. Back to movies, The Blob. There's the 1950s version and the 80s version. I prefer the 80s because campy 80s stuff. The Mist, 2007, Thomas Jane. It's a good freak. Mist rolls in and people try to go, like they're stuck in the grocery store, try to get out into it, then all of a sudden they just disappear because a giant bug takes them someplace. It ends.
Yeah, you're like, oh, by the way, it's not the Mist. It's actually that thing that's gonna murder all of them.
Yeah.
We love that movie. That was one of the very first horror movies that Headless Engineer and I watched when we were dating, and we're like, this is like pretty cool. Like that's on my list too. I'll check that out.
Heartbreaking film at the end, but it's great.
Yes. Yeah, you're like, oh, dang.
Kind of going back to the camp, sort of, but Tremors. Speaking of first horror movies, Tremors was technically mine.
That's on my list.
Watching it on USA when I was in 6th grade, like, I'm going to have it on this channel, but if I hear my mom coming down the hallway, I'm going to switch over to this channel real quick. But
so I have a thought for you.
What?
Because we're talking about all the like Evil Dead and like Army of Darkness and stuff. Would you say My Name is Bruce would be a good fit in there?
I've
'Cause it's a
never
little,
seen
like,
My Name
weird.
is Bruce.
What?
It's I love the man,
What?
but I have my limits. Bubba Hotep.
That was the next
Okay,
one. I was
yeah.
like, he's like literally dressed up as Elvis. I mean, because he thinks he's Elvis, but
And
still,
there's
I
a
was like,
mummy.
that's a good one. Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah,
Anyways,
Bubba-
okay,
let's see. Going back to some 80s camp, Wishmaster 1 and 2. No, 90s horror camp.
Chucky's on there, right? You got that?
Chucky is on there.
Okay, good. Okay,
But
sorry.
again, Wishmaster, my friend who's now a preacher introduced me to Wishmaster in college.
That's how it starts, kids. That's how it starts.
Papa John's and Wishmaster. I remember those days fondly, but Wishmaster, it's an evil genie. Djinn, to be more specific. But like I said, it's 90s camp. It's I would say it's not as gory as Hellraiser, which is also on my list, but it's pretty gory. But again,
Okay.
it's 90s gore.
Yeah.
Like as I just mentioned, Hellraiser, those are just fucked up. There's our PG-13 rating.
Excuse our language, kids. Yes.
Alien, the first one. You really could do any of the Alien movies, but I'm saying Alien because it really worked on the whole kind of psychological. I mean, in space, no one can hear you scream. So I'm picking that one.
Yikes.
Going to the silly route, Young Frankenstein.
It's on my list too.
Mel
Dang
Brooks.
you. Yes.
As I mentioned earlier, Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. Because Tales from the Crypt, TV show that was on HBO back in the day, they had a few movies. Bordello of Blood was another one. Demon Knight's my favorite because you have Billy Zane acting as a crazy demon, and it's just a lot of good. It's dumb, campy, but it's a good horror flick. It's fun.
I drove Billy Zane to the airport one time.
Was he a phantom?
No.
He was in a movie called The Phantom.
I know.
Okay.
He did buy a super cool cowboy hat up in Santa Fe though. He was wearing his cowboy hat and his like boots. It's funny.
In Demon Knight, you see him with a cowboy hat. So it's not the same one because this was.
Oh my gosh, that's so meta, dude. It's so meta.
So
okay.
Meta. We mentioned this earlier. Get Out, Jordan Peele.
Okay.
Us, which I haven't seen yet.
And
then I threw in another classic 90s, The Leprechaun.
Oh my god, that like
Warwick Davis, Jennifer Aniston.
Oh yeah, that was like one of her very first movies, or was her first movie, I think, right?
I need my pot of gold. I'm the Leprechaun.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of small things, Chucky is on there. The wife has not seen Chucky, and every single Halloween I'm like, it's time to watch Chucky. But she's like, no, that could happen. I'm like, it's a doll.
Yeah. I was like, Annabelle. Speaking of dolls.
Yeah. You could really do any Godzilla movie, but I threw in Shin Godzilla, which was a more recent, not American Godzilla movie. 2016. I really like it because it actually deals more with the political aspects of how to deal with a Godzilla situation.
Okay, fair enough.
Which sounds trippy, but it was a really good film. Subtitle, but again, really just nicely done. Plus, it's Godzilla.
Yeah. Okay.
And let's see. And that's all I had. There's plenty. I mean, there's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I haven't seen it, but we have that on DVD.
Dude, dang it. Dang you. That's on my list too.
And the Freddy movies,
Damn you, Ryan.
I'll
you.
Shut up. You take it away.
That's fine. Never mind. That was my list.
Okay.
Poltergeist. Number one. Like a number one. Just because it's like just weird enough. Get you in the spirit. Didn't we watch that? Weren't we watching that together one time with like all of our crew? No, it was like Maddie and JJ, and that there was like a group of like 10 of us, and we were in this like living room.
I didn't. I wasn't there.
You weren't. Okay, I was definitely there. Okay. And then I'm glad you didn't say these because I was gonna jump through the
like
thing
Exorcist?
and strangle you. No, it's actually not on my list.
Exorcist, it's another fun one.
The Screams is Because Scream 2 for a long time was like one of my top 5 movies of all time, just because I loved it. But
Because Courtney Cox is
1,
in it, and
2,
she was your favorite
and
friend.
David Arquette, yeah, it was good. And Jamie Kennedy, like he was so cute and so fun, like
And
back then.
Scream
And then he
2, that had Timothy
at
Oliphant,
college,
who
yes,
was has a great
uh,
TV show in Justified.
Laurie Metcalf, Mrs. Loomis, when they're on the college campus, and what's his face, Randy gets straight up murdered in that news van. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And 3 is pretty good too. That to me, honestly, is the creepiest one of all. There's some weird stuff in that movie that creeps me out. And then again, another complete turd sandwich, Scream 4 was, I mean, like the characters are there, it's fine, it's
I
whatever,
don't know
like
if I
it's a
saw
part of the
4.
franchise. Yeah, we went, Headless and Junior went and watched it in a theater because I just like I always do that with the Scream movies. I just do this the whole time because I'm a weenie, but it's still fun. So.
My wife makes fun of me because I like scary movies. I hate jump scares.
Yeah,
because I don't like that loss of control, but at the same time, it's fun. So yeah, I'm very much or like the TV's here, but I'm looking.
Same. Yeah, the screen's here, and you're just like
peripheral vision.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Same. I'm exactly the same way. Okay, Nightmare Before Christmas for sure. That is on our list this year for short round because we think she'll get a kick out of it. It's a little weird, but like it's still cartoony and it's fun and it's just clever and greatness.
What's this? It's coming from the air.
And then she'll want to watch it again at Christmas, I'm sure. So
and there's some there's some really good remakes of those songs on iTunes if she digs it, like Marilyn Manson covers and some other good ones.
Good to know. All right, so Nightmare Before Christmas, and then I think we said Ghostbusters already. Yes.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. Yep.
Hocus Pocus, I think is like sort of fun on that side of things as well, and like live action, not cartoon, but still fun, and like baby Sarah Jessica Parker and Bette Midler and Kathy Najimy and all those. So
another character in that movie that has been acting ever since, but you never recognize it. But the guy that was the dead Scarecrow Billy, I think, that's Doug Jones.
Okay.
And he is a character actor. Like if you see a tall, lanky, weird creature, I think it's either Doug Jones or Doug Smith. That's Doug Jones. He's well known for being just a creature. He's in Pan's Labyrinth. He's in Hellboy. In Hellboy he played Abe Sapien, even though he didn't voice the character.
Oh, okay. Yep, I see him.
He's all, and the guy who voices the cat Binks, he's a big time voice actor.
Okay.
Who has a lot of credits in it, like random
Good
stuff.
to know.
Yeah, I love that movie. I had a crush on the girl when I was a kid because that was my age range.
Thora, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Thora Birch. Yeah. I don't know where that came from. Anyways. Okay, so another one that kind of popped into my head as I was thinking about some of the ones you were saying was Death Becomes Her. Not horror movie, but like it's so
Bruce
funny.
Willis, Goldie Hawn. Who's the third? Sharon. Not Sharon.
Is it Bette Midler? I think it's Bette Midler, isn't it? Maybe not. Or no, Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
Yeah. Let me see.
That threw me off as a kid because I was looking. I'm like, I was used to seeing how Bruce Willis looked.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not Bruce Willis.
Directed by Robert Zemeckis. Go figure. Yeah. I mean, such a fun, weird, like super weird movie, but that would be
very weird, but very good.
Yes.
Short round might be able to handle that one.
Maybe. Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. I know it's not a movie, but again, when we're talking about that, like they're hysterical. I just like the Shinin. Probably my favorite like short from those, or when Homer's 3D and he pops into the real world at the end. Like, I mean, just greatness.
Ooh, erotic cakes.
Zombieland. I know you're talking about zombies and everything else, and like
that's a good one. Like, that's because they kind of makes fun of the whole. I mean,
yes, yeah, makes fun of the whole.
Well, not really. Like they poke.
I'm thinking HOLE, and you're talking about WHOLE. I know what you're saying. I'm just being a dumbass. E.T. Again, that's like not horror, of course, but it's
with the
like
walkie-talkies or
sci-fi
with the gun?
adjacent.
The gun or the walkie-talkie versions? The gun.
Oh my gosh. Arachnophobia.
Ooh, good pick.
Again, like fun enough, weird, like spidery, obviously, but
That's
not
a really
like
good one.
not jump scare, not whatever. It's just like fun, horror-y, like
There's some jump scares. They play with those string instruments with the the big looming thing up in the corner.
That's true. Yeah, good point.
Like the floor view of something skittering towards the foot and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's a good classic.
I know what you did last summer along the teen horror comedies.
Screams.
Yeah, the screamses. Yeah. The evil us's. Sorry. Hook man, like that's creepy. That's super creepy. And I can still picture back. No, they're good.
I know of them, but yeah.
I can picture back to when there was this part where it's like a beauty pageant and like someone gets murdered up in the rafters, just like super messed up. Anyways. Okay, Blair Witch. That's like, to me, sort of quintessential.
The first one,
weird. Yeah.
Did you see the remake they did a few years ago?
No.
I don't know. So,
or maybe I don't remember.
So real quick on the Blair Witch, when you saw it, where did you see it? Did you see it in theater? Did you see it at home video?
I basically did one of these things to it because I have a weird thing with my eyeballs. Like I can't watch when things go around like that, or I'm gonna like vomit everywhere. So no, it was at home, and it was kind of just like trying to pay attention.
Did you know that it was? This is a dumb question, I know. Did you know it was fake?
Yes.
I did not.
Oh, okay. So
I saw it twice in theater. Again, going back to very religious Ryan, like holy roller, cast out demons, let me find this forest type thing. I was a dumb
messed
kid.
You up. Yeah.
But yeah, I watched it. I was like, oh my gosh. The kid, the tent scene is
yeah.
But then after watching it the second time, my brother's like, no, it's fake. I'm like, okay, thank gosh.
Phew. I can sleep. Yeah, thank gosh.
Thank gosh.
And then my last one my epiphany when you were talking about a bunch of things that I thought would be really good. Twilight Zone.
The movie, I think that would be just fun. The show.
The shows, like the episodes or the movie, like whichever, just because it's just weird enough. I think it could get you into the.
Along those lines, The Outer Limits.
Oh, that's good too. Like X-Files. Now I'm thinking about all
X-Files, yeah.
I'm just writing these down because we may have to go through some of these. And
then some of those you kind of you may have to dig because, I mean, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, and X-Files, sometimes, I mean, there's a creepy aspect to it. I keep playing with the koozie.
You're good.
There's creepy aspects to it, but it's not like, oh, this one's going to deal like X-Files. This is going to deal more with the political system and stuff like that. But if you find the one where it's got the giant slug human thing, we watched that one last year. I'm like, yeah, that's just kind of creepy. I remember watching that at my grandma's house. Like, what am I doing?
Watching all those random things at your grandma's, Requiem for a Dream and Twilight Zone.
I didn't watch that with grandma, though. I watched that in the background.
Not with her, I know. And then I just thought of one, too, that you're just saying, the creepy slug guy, The Fly, Jeff Goldblum, classic. Anyways, yeah, that'd be good. Too many things. We'll come up with more, and we'll talk about them as the Halloween season approaches quite quickly.
It's coming.
That was fun. This is like fun to talk around.
I mean, there's a lot of shows out. I think and some services have their own original stuff. Like Hulu has their own original scary movies that are Hulu exclusives, stuff like that.
You gave me my other one. Scary movie. Thank you. That was good job. Way to go, Ryan. Anyways, sorry. Streaming services. Go on.
I was working at the movie theater when Scary Movie came out.
So good.
We had to double ID people at the time. It was ridiculous. I'm like, just
OG Anna Faris stuff. Yeah. She was so funny. What was her name in that one? It was Sid. Oh, Cindy.
Sid. Yeah, Cindy.
Yeah, Cindy.
Okay. Scream, but not Scream.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Well, yeah. So that's Halloween. Do you have anything left in your cup?
I do. I saved some in my cup.
Yeah. So what's in that teacup, yo?
So to look at it though, to see it's a little bit creamier today.
Creamier, kind of a brown essence. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I decided this morning when I was prepping everything, I wasn't sure if I've already done this tea before, but I've actually changed it up a little bit today. So I figured I could talk about it again because it's so good that even if I've done it twice, I don't care because it's delish.
Okay.
Picasso's Soiree. Does that sound familiar to you? Maybe. It doesn't matter. Anyways.
I think.
Scented black tea again, and it's the caramel chocolate creme brulee.
Okay.
Chocolate creme brulee one. Maybe we talked about it. Maybe I hadn't done it because I feel like I have.
Yeah, I remember
Anyways,
we mentioned a Soiree, but yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, super tasty. So nice. I'm talking about it twice. It's good. It's one of those that doesn't need anything. It's great as is because it has that delicious sweetness from the chocolate and then like the creme brulee sort of toasted, sugary, caramely taste. But for this time, I thought for my tea tip, I would talk about milk. I would talk about milk in your tea because we've talked about it a little bit offhand.
Tell me, what kind of milk?
But nothing
How much
like actually.
of the milk?
Okay. So my kind of way to think about it is anything lighter than a black tea, don't use milk. Okay. Period. If it says it's a white tea, if it says it's a green tea, do not use milk at all. Or else you're not going to taste anything. Okay. It's just going to taste like milky water. Yuck.
Good point.
As far as black teas go, with traditional like a Ceylon, an Assam tea, like those kind of things.
English.
That's a fruit. English breakfast, Irish breakfast, those kind of things. Use the milk if you want to. Like I love a good milky traditional black tea with brown sugar in it or sugar because it's just yummy and creamy and I love it. Hot, not iced, in my opinion. And then if you're doing like a traditional with floral notes or something like that because it's a little heavier, proceed with caution. Milk's fine. It's not going to ruin it. Don't overdo. Like, literally like a splash is fine. Okay. Just drip and then done. Because it's nice to have it sort of creamier with those floral or fruity notes, but you don't want to drown those out again because the milk's just basically what milk does to tea is it kind of makes it like, I want to say, and I mean, like acidic's not exactly the right word, but kind of, because it kind of just changes the way it tastes. But it's just really, like a creamy tea is nice sometimes. Okay. So in this one, because it has a lot of like, it has the chocolate, it has the like sugary taste that the milk just, in my opinion, enhances it. So,
anyways. How much milk do you recommend? So let's say it's a standard 8 ounces of tea, a dab, a dash.
I'm not one who measures like at this point, since I'm more of like, as opposed to casual, I'm more connoisseuring it. Yes. So like when I did for the Picasso Soiree, I just did 2 little like turn, mixed it in with the brown sugar when it was done steeping. But for like I said, that like a floral traditional, something like that, where it has more of those flavors that are, what's the word? Like they're stronger but won't hold up against milk. I would do like no more than like a tablespoon. Okay. Just like a quick.
Not like the character in another scary movie, Gremlins 2. It takes a little, I take a lot.
Very good. Way to go. I like that. Nice reference. Yeah, it's like I said, anything lighter than a black tea, I would not touch. Okay. With milk at all.
Okay. I have broken that rule many times, so
how dare you?
I know.
How actually dare you? Give it a try without. It's good. The other one I was thinking about was the pu'er, which is the aged black tea. I love milk in a pu'er just because it's like, older and aged and like more, not hefty, but just more earthy. And so the milk against it is yummies.
Make your pu'er milky.
Everybody loves a good milky pu'er. Anyway. Thanks for listening to me talk about tea. I'm gonna finish my tea now.
Tea. Fantastic.
I'm gonna prepare myself and become hydrated for the upcoming
games.
Yes.
For the games, and I think you're kicking off. Am I kicking off the games or are you kicking off the games?
I think that I will kick off since we know what we're going to be playing. We had a good response to who would win from last week.
Okay.
So we're playing again, and I have not picked the cards. I'm actually just pulling up the box top. It'll give me a chance
for
to
those
finish my tea.
new or who didn't catch last episode, you're going to draw 2 cards, and it's a versus. Like, who would win at? Is it a like subject like cooking or something like that? Or like,
yeah, like last week, yours was what? Darts.
MacGyver and
Yeah, it was Jacques Cousteau versus MacGyver. Who would win at darts?
Okay, so yeah.
Yes. Okay, so let's pick out our event first. And I just dropped stuff.
And then after
this is perfect.
I've got a game for the Rizzo based off the olden days.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. And perfect. This is perfect. All right, are you ready for the event?
Oh, okay. So the event is, so I can write it down. The event.
A banjo duel.
Banjo duel. Okay.
Should I pick 4 so that it's like against? No, I guess that's duet. Never mind, brain. Need more tea. Sorry, my bad. All right, here we go. And your competitors for this week's Who Would Win are Lady Gaga.
Okay.
Versus Barack Obama, one of the most musical presidents of our time, kids.
That's why I went, because when you say when you introduce a musical instrument and your first person is Lady Gaga.
Yeah, you're like, okay, well, she might win, but you never know. So Lady Gaga's, says she's a pop singer, and her quote is, "I'm obsessively opposed to the typical."
Okay.
I like that. And then Barack Obama's is, he was the 44th U.S. president. Okay. And it says, "The fact that my 15 minutes of fame has extended a little longer than 15 minutes is somewhat surprising to me and completely baffling to my wife." That'll be your quote down the road too.
I think you said that when we got married, actually.
Those were your vows.
So Lady Gaga versus Barack Obama in a banjo duel. So when it comes to musical talent, I'm going to go Lady Gaga. But the downfall for Lady Gaga in this duel is that she brings out this banjo, and it's made mostly out of meat. And so as she's playing and she's singing... The
strings are like the tendons and the muscles.
Yeah, and she's playing... She's singing beautifully because she's Lady Gaga, but you can't hear it.
Old school Gaga. Okay.
Yeah, gotcha. It's like she's doing a cappella and going... It just sounds like literally meat slapping against itself.
Gross.
So I'm going to go with Barack Obama wins because he may have 3 chords and it's just... Change.
Yeah.
What about Michelle? But Barack would probably have Michelle singing.
Yeah. He's a good singer too, though, dude. You've heard him sing, haven't you?
No.
He's go look up Barack Obama Al Green. He sings quite well.
So, I mean, in reality, if you handed those to a banjo, it's going to be Lady Gaga. But for the sake of comedy, her banjo is a meat banjo and doesn't sound anything. So, because if you're going to have a banjo duel, you got to hear it. So,
her banjo is a meat banjo, kids. You heard it here first.
Just slapping meat.
Slapping the meat. It's like, I love you, man.
She walked into the butcher's like, I need a meat banjo. And he's like, I'll bust out the patterns.
Ma'am, we don't sell that here.
She is a very special butcher. After that meat suit, she knows where to go.
That's true. She probably has a guy, like a meat banjo guy. You're right. No, you're right. I'm sorry. I take that back.
But talent-wise, yeah, it's going to be her. But, jokingly, I'll say it's Barack Obama for the sake of being silly.
I'm gonna send you that video of him singing.
Okay.
So, anyways, that was very good. I like that.
So that's
I'm scared now. My tummy hurts. My tea might come back up.
So introducing another game. This is based off something that Rizzo and I did back in the day, where we had a friend of ours come in called
really well.
Yeah. Nate, we called the Single Guy. This is college radio, so of course names are fantastic. And he would come in and read a headline from National Enquirer, some grocery store type newspaper, like a headline, and then we'd make a joke to it. Like, let's see, what was the example that you gave me?
I didn't give you an example.
You gave so
but
like.
It was like, oh yeah, it was like
Giant baby becomes mayor of long lost city of Atlantis. Then
yeah,
I'd have to tell a joke. Rizzo would have to tell a joke.
Yeah.
So what we're doing. So I'm taking that setup, but I'm changing it. So they were calling this the headline. I will read a headline, and though using that headline, Rizzo has to make. I'm calling it extend the headline. Make the giggle headline. Here's the example I have.
Oh, so, is this the one I'm working off of?
Yeah, this is just the example. This is just to know, so everyone knows kind of what I'm thinking of what.
Yeah.
So the example from CNN.com. Okay. Ellen DeGeneres addresses toxic workplace allegations in season premiere. The giggle, while toting an assault rifle in a bullwhip.
I mean, you got, exactly. Okay, gotcha.
So, all right. That's kind of what I'm going for.
Got it.
So, are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever. I think I'm ready. I'm more prepared than I was back in 2004. I think I'm a little more.
Rizzo won't know the headlines. I have these. Yeah. I have this in a hidden Discord channel that she can't access.
Oh, that was the secret lab.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which is now called the headline. So here is the headline. Should I give you a time limit?
I mean, we've gone over enough anyways, so
okay.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll either crash and burn or I'll have one or two like decent ones. It's fine.
So the headline.
Oh God.
Via sci-fi.com.
Okay.
Extinct cave bear looks fiercely alive after being mummified 30,000 years ago.
Okay.
Again, from via sci-fi.com. Extinct cave bear looks fiercely alive after being mummified 30,000 years ago. What's the giggle?
Well, you think that after 30,000 years of hibernation, you'd be a little bit more on your game, but maybe not. I don't know. See, crashed and burned completely.
Fail.
Like, dang it. Because he's mummified, but he looks like he's alive. Is that what you're saying? Maybe I don't understand the headline.
Extinct cave bear looks fiercely alive after being mummified 30 years ago.
30 years ago or 30,000?
30,000.
30,000. Okay.
So you could come in with saying, "But damn, does he stink?"
Oh well, yeah, that's good. I was gonna say the taxidermy game has obviously upped its game in the last several thousand decades.
There, yeah.
Again, I mean, like, okay, my bad. I just like turned it all over the show. Dang it!
No. That's what happens.
It's not my first time. That's the problem.
No, you've never seen this. This is the first time you playing the headline because the fact that I'm giving you true stories, that's the fun part.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to go dig through the national.
Yeah,
next week.
Thanks.
I have one headline. Because as the single guy was going to like National Enquirer and whatnot, I'm going to news.google.com. And just searching for
coming up with
something.
Real things.
Yeah, I'm finding real actual headlines, and then for you to manipulate.
See, I just have one now.
Okay.
I have a good one. I think.
Okay, let me set you up again.
And now he's okay. Never mind. Go ahead.
Extinct cave bear looks fiercely alive after being mummified 30,000 years ago.
And now he's up for presidential re-election.
There you go.
There.
Yeah.
There. See, man, dang it. Thank you.
Give you my Joker clap.
Thank you. Now he dons an orange face and a horrible wig, and he's up for re-election.
Worst rug ever.
So. Exactly. There you go. Dang it. See, that's good. Way to go.
Yeah, that's the headline.
So evidently, I need like 2 minutes to think about stuff. Okay.
So yeah,
there we go.
That's our games. Who would win? And the headline.
Da, da, da. That was fun. Thank you.
Episode 13. It's a little bit of everything. It's live, except for the first few minutes where I hit the wrong button.
It's just, it's a mixed bag, kind of like we are. But you know what? You know us. You love us anyways. And we have some fun, man.
That's how we roll.
A little fun way to kick off the week. we'll prep a little bit more for Halloween and some of those things coming up for next week's episode. Anything else on the docket we think we might be chit-chatting?
Not that I know of. I mean, it kind of depends on what news is, because the joy of having a show on Sunday is we want to give you... The idea is to kind of give pseudo-fresh news when we have news. I mean, we're not a news outlet. Yep. We are talking heads, but we're not those talking heads.
No.
So, yeah. We'll kind of see what happens. I'll watch some more television, some more Lovecraft Country.
Okay.
Some Raised by Wolves, stuff like that.
Yep. More tea, more games.
Of course.
More entertainment news.
So
more random jabberings.
All the random jabberings. I'm going to hit that button I told you about. So I guess, again, here's the fun thing with us doing it live. We're kind of winging it. So we've got 22 seconds to wrap it up. If I find the right button starting now.
All right.
So that's how we're
Ryan and Rizzo at gmail.com. There it is.
The socials.
Ryan and Rizzo at Twitter, Insta.
All that fun jazz.
And
Sometime. We got like 6 seconds before you start talking digitally. So we'll just do this.
Ryan and Rizzo is a part of the Musing with McWillie Creative Network. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan and Rizzo. For more info about the show, go to mcwillie.com/podcast.
I like to do the blah blah.